Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today we are out in the woods and it is a brisk and rather chilly morning where we are in the heart of North Staffordshire, and we're back in the woods today. A bit windy, a lot of creaky trees, a bit concerning given how many trees have blown over this year, but we'll keep an eye on that situation. So today what we're doing is vitamin coffee. You have to be very careful with this cup. You bring it away from your face too quick, it has a big splash and it goes in your eye. Today we're going to be having a go of a Swedish log stove. Now I've seen these things a great many times, never actually made one, never really had the particular need to, because I've usually got another type of fire, or just a fire. But I'm told that the idea of these jobbies is that they are a bit more secretive. They're kind of like a Swedish army thing, really. You get a lot less smoke, they're a lot harder to be seen with them and all of that whatnot. So really, what I want to do this with would be a good sized section of, say, a nice dead birch tree. And rather conveniently, over there is a nice dead birch tree. So let's get a saw on the job and go whip that puppy down and see what we can't achieve. Right then, conveniently, here's an old birch that died earlier. A bit mouldy, but I'm hoping it's dry inside. I guess there's only one way to find out. Small problem. This tree has pinched down on my saw and trapped it. Not a big issue. This will happen from time to time. When it does, make a wedge into your saw crack, tap it in, and that should open up the hole enough as you can get your saw moving again. There we go. Unfortunately, the camera was off for the dramatic log fall, but it is down. So, well, I guess it's a shame. That would have been nice, but what I'm going to do now is cut it again, because I only want a section of it, so time to get sawing again. Now that it's down though, it should not pinch my saw, which will be nice. Now, all of this is a bit approximate for me today, so I'm just going to approximately select a length. I don't think it really can be too long. I think it can definitely be too short. Really don't think it can be too long though for what we're doing today. Not so much now. Right, lovely. So we have our log. Now then, whew, that warmed me up. I think I might have to take a layer off in a minute. Next phase of operations. I need this log in sort of 4/4. So really, I want to try and split the thing clean in half. I'm not so sure that this particular log is going to like that. There is only one way to find out. Accuracy has been terrible lately. Not bad. Now I need another log. It's a bit weak. Bosun 1, log 0. Now then, let's have these in half again. When you're doing this and you're beating your axe blade through something like a wedge, try not to put pressure through your handle with your hand. You're just steadying it with it. If you put pressure down your handle, as you whale the top of it, you're going to be fighting against your own pressure and it'll rattle your head loose. I've got several layers under. I've just seen myself. I look like the Michelin man. I'm just wrapped up today. Ooh. There we go. Marvellous. Right. Got something stuck to my eye. It's driving me mad. All right then. Oh, got what we need there. So, now what I'm going to do is select the thinner ends, and I'm just going to chop them down to a rough point because I'm going to want to stake them into the ground. So I'm just going to cut these bottoms now into a rough stake. Right then, so that's all the labour done, all the hard graft is completed. But now for the easier stuff. What we're going to need now is some level you up a bit. That's what we need. We're going to want dead hanging material, and if we just look in this holly tree, now holly trees are not all that useful really, to be fair. This better work. It's the last of my coffee until I make one in a minute. Right, so holly trees, not always the most useful things. What a holly tree is really useful for, and what they're really good at, is catching other things. So if we look at this holly that's right in front of us here, this thing is absolutely riddled with dead hanging sticks, larch. Larch is always your favourite for a fire anyway. Full of resin, burns well. So that, loads of it, and it's bone dry because it's been hanging in this holly. And again, this time of year, particularly where we are in North Staffordshire, if you pick it up off the ground, it's going to be absolutely soaking wet and pretty much worthless. So holly can come in very handy, supplying you with lovely, dry, crispy larch. And the quickest way with this sort of business to find out if it's dry and ready to burn, does it snap? As you can see, it snaps with fairly little resistance. It's not stringy, therefore bone dry. Right, onwards. Righty-ho then. So I've got all manner of stuff in my pocket poking me in the leg. Now this isn't the stuff I collected, and you can see it does snap. It's a lot more rubbery. The only difference is this stuff's been on the ground, so it's not, well, you might get it work, you'd have to waft it and blow on it, but it's not the best. Find it hanging in trees. Now holly isn't the only tree that it will hang from, it's just a good place to start. So then I'm going to get my stakes that we made a moment ago, and we're going to beat them into the ground a little. Okay, that should do it. Now it ain't perfect, but you can see how we've got it with that space. Now then, what we want to do is get some of the thicker stuff, scrimple it all up and stuff that in at the bottom into the hole like that. Lovely. Yeah, excellent. And then all I'm going to do is keep crisscrossing it. Now ideally what you would use would be some birch bark or any of that sort of stuff. We're a bit shy on that this time of year out here. The storms have made a right mess, so I am going to cheat and I am just going to stuff a fire lighter in the bottom of there before I bury it with all the rest of my stickage. You know, it's up to you guys. I'm doing this for the demonstration purpose. If you want to use all the proper barks and stuff, please do. And you know, if I was doing this just personally for myself and not a video, I would do. Now, don't cram the living devil into it. Like, don't absolutely ram it stupid full, because you've got to have air space. If the air can't get around it, it's not going to burn. So don't stuff it too silly full, yeah? And you can always stuff more into it should you need to as it goes. Right, that's enough, I think. Plenty in there. Now then, let's light it and see what we get. I think we're getting ready for another battery. There we go. Do you know, actually, the larch caught fire there faster than the firelighter did. That's a lesson to me. Marvellous. So now we just let it burn. You can go all the way up and cross with all of your stuff, but like I say, be careful if you do that, because you'll exclude too much oxygen and it just isn't going to go. Now, a lot of the times you'll see these, I've seen them in shops you can buy, and what they've done is they've ran across down with a chainsaw. They work great, but again, you've got a very narrow gap there, so what you're going to have to do is be very careful about what you stuff in it. You can also, if you wanted to make a freestanding one, just tie the bottom together with wire. Works very much the same. This one, just for ease, I've staked it into the ground. Bob's your mother's brother. And of course, I've put flame to something now, so my face isn't going to be covered in smoke. It's just the way we are at Boaston Dan. Can't go anywhere without being smoked out. So I'm going to give that 5 minutes, change this camera battery, and see how she goes. Right. All other challenges accepted. Let's fight with this pan. Oh yes. I have no idea if you can see that or not, but it's bubbling away beautifully. Yes, that's ready. Excellent. At least we can get a brew then. In the middle of everything else going wrong. Look at that bubbling away. Can't see. Oh, that is well on fire. Very nice. Oh, I keep forgetting that the GoPro's died and this is my phone, and I keep shouting commands at it, and obviously it doesn't listen. The phone doesn't have voice command. The old woodland spoon. Ah, yes. Oh, beautiful. I'm sure you can't even... Oh, it tastes like pine now. I'm sure you can't even see him again. Hello. Still going. Now it's just being helped along a bit by the wind. Lovely. So you can see, I mean, that's going to burn for quite a while. You're going to get like an hour or two out of that easily, so you could cook on it and everything. Now, how do I rate it for practicality? Because I suppose it depends on how you look at it, really, because... Apologies for all this faffery going on. I'm struggling with this camera situation, and my head might not even be on this video at the moment. But how do I rate this for sort of practicality? Well, it depends what you're doing. There is a bit of effort in it. Obviously, you've got to cut your wood, chop your log, and all of that, which is no different than a normal fire in a sense. Looking at how long this one's going to burn, I didn't need a log anywhere near as thick as that. So I could have saved myself a lot of effort by going for a much smaller log in the first place. It would still work. It's just, as I pretty much always do, I have a habit of overdoing it with the firewood. And I guess with this design, it's no exception. I've gone way thicker than I need to do. So you could use a much smaller log, and that's clearly got a lot of life left in it. You know, you could cook on that quite successfully. Didn't bring any food with me today, so I won't be cooking today, but I'm quite impressed with that as an idea. It was really simple. It lit first time. I didn't have any trouble with it whatsoever, so that's a win from me. Oh, so as always, guys, with the challenges we faced today, get out there, get having fun, get bushcrafting, get finding new and original and interesting ways to boil yourself a brew in the woods or cook in the woods. Above all, be safe. Please subscribe. Please subscribe. I've got to buy a new camera now. Yeah, all of that. Click like. Take it, show it to people. I don't know, share it, whatever you'll do on YouTube. You know what it is. Other than that, folks, I will catch you on the next one. And that's Bosun Dan out.